Women nowadays don't want to submit, but to submit their husbands. I see women can't stand God's word nowadays, saying it's machista/sexist in favor of men.
Submission didn't come in our relationship until you were a better leader. I think the problem is that relationships have...
Well, it says in the Bible that the wife has to submit, so she has to listen to the Bible. But they don't read the part about the husband. But this is the part that a lot of you guys miss. It says you have to earn your wife's submission. Welcome back, everyone, to a new episode of Doing It Raw Relationship Goals. This is episode, I don't even know. Let's see, we're not going to do
why
that.
do you even say that?
This is episode number, editor.
No, we're not going to do that either, baby.
But today we have a bit of a juicy topic.
Welcome back, everyone. We are Moises and Rico.
My wife is going to reintroduce us.
We're going to reintroduce you because that was a great introduction, babe. You just forgot our names. What if this is the first time they're watching? What if this is the first episode they're watching?
Welcome.
They don't know who we are.
Welcome in.
Not that it matters, really. But yeah, welcome in.
So yes, whether this is your first episode that you're watching of ours, or I don't know which episode, how many episodes you watched of ours. Either way, thank you for coming in and listening to our conversation. We're about to have a pretty juicy conversation. One conversation that many couples, specifically couples who are, what would you call them? Because I don't want to call them Christians. God-oriented?
God-led?
Well, technically, God-oriented, I want to say.
Why?
Biblically oriented, because that doesn't mean that they're God-led sometimes.
True.
So I'm gonna read something that I read on Facebook in one of a Christian husband group, and then we're gonna have a discussion about it. Because, yeah.
Okay.
So this post says, women nowadays don't want to submit, but to submit their husbands. They want to rule every decision in the family, masquerading it as just influence. If the husbands say one word that may contradict what women think, do, or say, they make a huge fuss and a problem. If the husband gives his opinion, wives bark, saying the husband is controlling. Things have got to the point that husbands can give an opinion, even worse, bring truth from the Bible, because that is so offensive and abusive. Generation of glass. Don't accept and don't want to accept biblical truth, but only satisfy their own desires with whatever they want. I see women can't stand God's word nowadays, saying it's machista/sexist in favor of men. Remember, women were created for men, not men for women. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a very disturbed husband.
Yeah, maybe if he is a husband, because I have no idea. It was an anonymous post.
But wasn't it like a group for husbands?
Yeah.
Or dads, it said?
Yeah, that's Christian husbands / dads, I guess.
So, and why I'm saying that is just because he used the word like bark and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, wait. I see your point, but also like, why talk like that about your... Or...
I mean, he's just mentioning women.
Wives.
Yeah. But what do you think?
I mean, it's a lot. What do I think? I think, first of all, I can only speak for myself. And saying that, like, I've read the Bible from front to back, but I feel like our interpretation of the Bible is very different as like people. So like we try to interpret the Bible the way we want, right? And that's where there's a lot of like conflict on religion, right? Because everybody has like their own way. Like pastors do their own thing. I mean, I know for us, like it's the same everywhere. At least for us, like our priests talk about the same thing and or read the same scriptures in every church around the country. But I can see both things. Like I can see both points of view where like what he's saying is true. But it's so much not that like women don't want to follow what the Bible says, but more of like either like a woman hasn't read the Bible, doesn't understand it, or is just being influenced by whoever's around them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like submission didn't come in our relationship until you were a better leader. Right?
Yeah.
And by that, it wasn't like, oh, like you're a macho, you're a sexist, like you're a goes my way or the highway. It's like, it was like, I know that our home is God led.
Yeah.
Right? Like you've prayed on your knees, you've like done all kinds of things that a lot of men tend not to do anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I can see both perspectives of like what he's saying could be true, but it's not true in every family.
Yeah.
In every relationship. It's your relationship is individual. So if your wife is not being submissive, then what's the issue?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I want to say like, oh, like it's his fault because he's not being a good leader, right? Like it, like yeah, she needs to put, like I had to put my part. I had to be able to be trusting. I think that's why a lot of women don't submit to their husband, because it's the lack of trust that we tend to have. Like depending on whatever relationships we've had with our father, with like other relationships, how we grew up, we tend to stop trusting men.
Yeah.
And then society's telling us like, oh, men are weak, men
Empower women.
Yeah, like
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
like like you don't need no man.
Yeah.
You can do it on your own, all of these things. So like all of that starts getting into our head.
Yep. And I'm glad you said the part where it's us not willing to accept the man they're with as a leader.
Yeah.
Because that's another big thing where like, well, I'm doing everything I can. It's just like there's just that barrier where she wants to lead. There cannot be two leaders in a marriage. Now, how do I phrase that better? Because there can technically, because you are a leader and I am a leader, right? But we cannot lead in the same strengths, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you lead when it comes to like the food that we eat. all that stuff when we eat it, and so on and so forth. Like if I were to take over and be like, no, we're not gonna eat that anymore, it'll be chaotic. Right?
I mean, like, okay, we can say that because because you're not like that. Like
How?
you're very grateful, or like when it comes to that, you're very grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever I cook, sometimes you don't like it, but you don't make a big deal. There is husbands out there that make a big deal on that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's where they need to get checked. Um, but it's not like that in every relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the problem is that relationships have become so like individual, in the sense of like they're not one.
Yeah.
They pretend to be one, they want to be one, but they don't act as one.
Yeah.
So they act as separate people in the household, like roommates. We
Yeah.
always talk about roommates. Like they act like roommates. So it's like they don't have the clarity. Like they haven't had the communication and the clarity to say like, oh, I'm gonna work on this. This is gonna be my thing. This is what I'm gonna be, my responsibility, and like this will be yours.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like they go into the relationship and automatically it's expected to, okay, if I'm a stay at home mom, like, okay, you're a stay at home mom. But they don't dive deeper into that.
Yeah.
Like, well, what does a stay at home mom mean to us? Because the meaning is different for everybody.
Yep.
So then there's the expectation of like, well, I'm a stay at home mom, so I can't be doing whatever my husband's doing. Or, I'm the supporter of the house, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be washing the dishes. And that's where the disconnect happens.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem happens. And then the submission is like no longer there. The husband's like, she's not listening or she's barking.
Yeah. It's just a failure of seeing each other.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is they see what they're doing and what they want, and it's me, me, me. Look what I'm doing. Look what I want, and then you give it to me. And yeah, it doesn't work that way, because I see that you work hard. You see that I work hard, and we don't battle or we don't keep count. And if we do, we're like, that's not healthy.
Yeah.
Because even we go through that.
Yeah. We go through it a lot. But it's a change of mindset that you
Mm-hmm.
have to have. And it's a constant battle.
Yeah.
Like the mindset that you have in your relationship is a constant battle because like we go through that all the time.
We're selfish beings.
Yeah, so, and it's okay to like, it's because I feel like we always talk about this fine lines between the two things, right? Because then there's a side of, well, don't be selfish, and then there's a side that, oh, you should be a little selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where like you need to kind of try to stay in the middle.
Yeah. But I think it's what the intention and the reasoning that they do stuff with.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not selfish to the point where it affects our relationship,
Yeah.
but I'm selfish to the point that I know, like, hey, if I don't take care of me in these aspects, then it will affect our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And you too. You do too. And it could be different for everybody. It's just, yeah, I guess to bring it back into the biblical
Hold on
terms.
before you go there. Um, because there is times that like I feel like you're being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do when that happens?
You think that I'm being selfish? Like, when you ask me that question, the way that I picture it in your head is either you're doing something or you feel a certain way, and then you see me, and either I'm not doing anything or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, míralo, qué relajado, mientras que yo estoy acá
Mm-hmm.
estresada and all that stuff.
Yeah, does that make me right?
What?
Like the way
To feel
that,
that way, or
yeah.
you can feel whatever, and you're gonna in your head you're gonna be like, you're only gonna prove yourself right.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying it, because like there's times that I'm like in my head telling myself like he's being so selfish.
Mm-hmm.
But here is the difference between a healthy relationship and a healthy relationship that is led by a God-led man. That I don't tend to tell anybody
What?
that I feel like you're being selfish.
Mm.
Like I don't go look for, how do you say it?
Validation.
Validation. I don't go to like my best friend. I mean, you're my best friend, but I don't go to like a friend like, oh, like this happened with my husband. I feel like he's being so selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Or online, like on groups anonymously. My husband is, I'm gonna give an example of a time I felt like you were being selfish, and we talked about it. But
Mm.
like, oh, my husband, like every, I don't know, 6 months goes through the cycle that he needs to buy something extremely expensive to feel worthy or to feel like he's loved or whatever.
Mm.
But we don't have the finances to be doing that, and like, so that would be like the other side, like the other me version, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I would go to groups, I would go whatever and talk about you and try to get validation from my friends, like, yeah, like that's very selfish, like he shouldn't be doing that, like blah blah blah. And then there's our relationship
Mm-hmm.
of when I did feel like that and I came to you
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about it. And in a sense, like I understood your side and I realized that it wasn't that I really thought you were being selfish. It was just I was letting my emotions and my feelings over money
Mm-hmm.
take over, and then I blamed you for it.
Mm-hmm. Because you usually think about the word selfish, and when you call somebody selfish, as soon as you call somebody selfish, automatically that makes you selfish, right?
Uh-huh.
Because as soon as you call somebody selfish, you're like, oh, you're not thinking about me.
Yeah.
So now you're in the same boat, feeling the same way, and
Yeah.
you're looking to make sure you feel better. Because in my head, when it came to, like you said, like every 6 months, buy something expensive, look, my perspective was like, I give everything for my family. Can I just have, if it is every 6 months, can I just have that one thing, even if it is expensive? Because everything else I give to you.
Yeah.
Like, have my own space, have my own thing. Because the rest of the house, if you look at it, it looks like, where's my, besides the TV, probably the surround sound system. But like, where's my inspiration? Because it's nowhere else besides my office.
Yeah.
And that was my perspective. It's not that, like, maybe I worded it in the wrong way. But yeah, of course, it is selfish to a certain extent. But that's like the dangerous word about the word selfish. That once you call somebody else selfish, like you automatically become selfish.
Yeah.
Because what you're thinking is like, oh, you're not thinking about me and my selfish stuff that is going through my head.
Yeah. But you were gonna say something about the biblical aspect of that.
Yeah. So in that post, I commented. I don't remember what I commented because it was a few weeks back. But essentially, it's one of those things where if I were to put it in broad terms, I think what I said is like you have to earn your wife's submission.
Mm-hmm. Which
And
we've talked about before.
yes, and the retaliation because they use biblical truth based on their perspective is well, it says in the Bible that the wife has to submit. So she has to listen to the Bible
Mm-hmm.
and she has to do what the Bible says. But they don't read the part about the husband.
Mm-hmm.
They fail to see that. They fail to see, like, okay, what does the husband do? And that's where I came across, like, that's why we have these over here. Like when it comes to what does a because all the guys here, you already know, like the Bible does say that wives submit to your husbands. But this is the part that a lot of you guys miss. It says, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. In this same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. And the key part here is where it says that love your wives just as Christ loved the church. So essentially, what I don't know if I'm going to be able to put this back right now. Hey, there we go. And that's the part that a lot of guys fail to see, and they only see like, well, my wife is not submitting. Like, well, what have you not done? Because when Christ, it literally says Christ. It doesn't say God the Father or the Holy Spirit. It says Christ, meaning the guy, the man who came down to earth to lead his church. Because we always make that comparison, or that like the church is God's wife. And what did God do for his wife? He led it. He didn't force it to submission. He gave. He was there to serve. And because of that, the wife, aka the church, felt so compelled over how much she felt loved and adored and served, to the point that like, I'm gonna submit to you because you've served me so much. So do I see the point where like, yes, women nowadays are like very stubborn in the whole submission because they feel like if they do, they've given up something? And yes, they are supposed to give up something because yes, it is in the Bible. However, when it comes to the husbands, you're also supposed to serve without forcing or even expecting your wife to submit to you, and to continue leading and to continue guiding. And that's what we did. And that's what I did. The reason we say that, and the reason why we strongly believe in this biblical truth, is because you're looking at one of the women who was the most uber independent woman that I've ever met. Like, I was a 19-year-old kid living at mom's with a crappy car and no job, just going to school and
I mean,
the
your
gym.
mom is like uber independent too.
Yeah. And again, you were already working full time, had your own place, raising a kid, making money, and
Going to
school on top of that. And how did I get you to? I mean, I don't want to say that I got you because
I had my own car.
because my intention was never like I need her to submit.
Mm-hmm.
My intention was always like I need to lead. I need to lead us to a better life.
Mm.
That was always the intention.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make sure that our life is better. And you started seeing that. You started how I was working towards it. And you were just so compelled that, you know what, I'm just gonna.
I mean, like you make it seem like it happened, like
It didn't
oh,
happen overnight.
yeah, like it was a lot of struggle though, like because I do remember being extremely strong, barking all the time,
Parking.
barking and nagging all the time.
I didn't say it. Yeah, and I could have, and this is the thing, like I could have done the same thing to you, and much worse, and much more aggressive.
Yeah.
You've heard me talk Spanish.
Yeah. Very vulgar, man.
And I know more of your past that I
Yeah.
can technically use against you, but I didn't, and I won't.
Yeah.
And instead of like, again, going back to the biblical, like when God was being berated and being like verbally abused and all these things, it's not like he said where your mama too or whatever, the abuela. He wasn't doing this. He led with love. He led with like, you're okay. You technically are my wife because you're part of the church. So let me lead you. So he questioned.
Mm-hmm. I like that you said that. He questioned, like, it's true.
So that's what I do with you,
That's what you do with me all the time.
and you don't like
It drives me insane. Like, it drives me insane because in the moment I'm so led by emotions and feelings
it.
that I start telling myself like, oh, like here he goes, he's gonna try to convince me otherwise. And I've told you that.
No. And what do I tell you?
But I know that it's from me wanting to be selfish and be right.
hmm You think I'm coming from the point of view of malice, like this? Because I mean, I even tell these to our kids. Like, do you think I woke up today making making plans of how I can ruin your day? Like, oh, today I'm gonna, whenever she talks to me, I'm gonna be like, no. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's because I love you, but it doesn't feel that way,
Yeah.
right? And I have no control over your feelings. Um, Regardless, I still have to go with what I think is the correct path. For example, when you first talked to me about Florida and moving over there, and I was like, no.
You didn't say that. You're like, no.
But it wasn't out of malice. Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want you to. I don't want to fulfill that dream of yours or whatever. It was
Yeah.
just at the time I didn't know better as to what it took to live over there. Um, I had my own perspective of what it is to live off in Florida, and your perspective was Disney World. And I was like,
It
yeah,
was not just that. Why do you guys keep thinking that the only reason why I want to move over there is because Disney?
at that time,
Oh,
not anymore,
yeah.
but at that time, it was mainly because of that. Because you also didn't know what it was like to live over there until we went and had some conversations with people that we met, right?
No, before that, I did research.
Yeah, but it was like minimal research.
To you.
It wasn't until we got over there and then we talked to people who were locals and they told us about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I was like, oh, okay. So where's I going with that? Yeah, at the beginning I told you no, but then it was until we went, we experienced it for ourselves, and we were like, can we do it? Then we did a little bit more research. Then we were like, okay, let's go ahead and make a plan for it
Yeah.
in 2 3 years. Because we also talked about it because it's gonna shift our relationship and our diet, and like it could relate. It could get to the point where like it could affect our relationship in a negative way if we're not careful as to how we do it.
Yeah.
Because yes, we can pick up and leave and figure it out on the way, but at the same time, it's like, well, how much are we willing to struggle? Because not just us, it's our kids, school. Last night I just thought about like, oh, we have to change their doctors, so on and so forth. Are we going to be able to get insurance as soon as we have a residence, or I mean, not even a residence, an address?
Mm.
Because technically we don't become residents until like 6 months into living in that place.
Mm.
So I'm like, oh, we have to think of all that to prepare.
We can't just go to Juarez.
No, We cannot.
Yeah. But I mean, that's now, like
Hmm.
right now that we have a healthier relationship. But what about back then when we didn't have the healthiest of relationships?
I mean, I still, again, the intention was always, okay, how can I lead us to a better life? That was always it,
Yeah.
no matter what, from when we started dating until to this day and into the future. It's always going to be that way.
Hmm.
Like, how can I lead us to a better life?
But then I wasn't submissive, so
I continue to lead.
you continue to serve.
Yeah. I continue to give and serve and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. Now, that doesn't mean that I just put up with stuff and took the brunt of it. It's like another part of that he meant that he practices is keeping people accountability. Like he told that prostitute, is go on and sin no more.
Yeah.
Like it was forgiveness, but also like don't do it again. So like us having conversations, it wasn't gonna be you barking at me or bickering or insulting me or throwing bad words at me. I'm like, mm.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's true, like you did um like I remember as I was becoming a better version of myself, like there was a lot of times that I realized that you never did things back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I yelled at you, you never yelled back at me. You know what I mean? Like if I got frustrated, you weren't like frustrated with me back. You gave me a lot of grace.
Mm-hmm.
And there was times that like that you did mess up, that you weren't right. And in those, like at the beginning, in those times, like I did like kind of like I don't know, how do I say it?
Hold it against
Yeah, exactly. Hold it against you. Like
me.
I
Mm-hmm.
did hold it against you, and I said like exactly this and that and blah blah blah. And I feel like a lot of wives do that right now. They like we tend to feel like we know it all when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to the house, when it comes to the kids. And when our husband tries to lead, we don't let them
Mm-hmm.
because we're like, well, you made this mistake, you made that mistake. Like, you made all these mistakes. And at the end of the day, so do we. And I started realizing that because there was a lot of times that I would, like with the babies,
Mm.
where something would happen because you either played too rough or like whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would be like, oh heck no.
Mama bear.
Yeah, and I would like yell at you and I'd be like, we talked about it with Daryl, was it like 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm. That's sweet.
Last week, where it was like Mama Bear came in, oh hell no, like you need to be more careful or whatever. But then I had to go back and think like, oh, there's been times that I haven't been the best mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like the kids fell off the bed or like something. Why are you laughing?
Because those dynamics are very different. Like if, like when, because we've had times where we yell at the kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? Every parent does. Um, in your head, in when I yell at the kids, like don't be yelling at my kids. Like what's wrong with you? You need to control your emotions and so on and so forth.
No,
Before.
no. In my head, it was like, you're scary.
Mm. And you're scaring my kids.
And you're scaring my kids. And you're scaring me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm scared, I go into survival mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with like I never thought like he needs to control. Like no, but it was like just survival mode. I'm like, oh shoot, like they're scared, I'm scared, we're all scared. Like,
but it used to be that when it used to be when I did that, you wouldn't like it, and you would storm off and like close the door and like slam it or whatever.
Well, first I would yell at you, and then like I started getting better, so now like I started slamming the door instead of yelling at you. It was faces of.
And that was a dynamic, right?
Yeah.
And on my part, when I hear you yell at the girls or the kids, and they come tell me something like, "Oh, like, blah, 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 blah," then I go check on you, and I see your face. I'm like, "Oye, me voy a regañar." But I don't yell at you. I don't storm off. I come to check on you to see like what's going on and how can I help.
I just pictured Abel. That's coming.
But I go check on you so I can
Are you okay?
Like, what happened?
Like,
and it's one of those things where the reason why that is both get to the same conclusion, but one does more damage than the other. And this is what I mean. Like with what I do, I come to you, and because I come in a gentle fashion and not like retaliation and one like blah blah blah, you are technically in a place where like, well, he's not yelling at me, so even though I feel like yelling or whatever, or like I'm still angsty and all that stuff, I'm not gonna do that because he's only checking on me.
Yeah.
Like, so that kind of puts you in a position to like, oh, I have to think about my actions.
Yeah.
Because his actions are not matching
but that also took work, because I do remember, like I remember even now, like I have to control myself. Like in my head I tell you, leave me alone.
Yeah, and you still do sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, but in my head, like I'm like, oh, leave me alone. But I stop myself from doing that because I know, like now I'm like, well, he's just checking on me. And I can technically let out my frustration without yelling and tell you what's going on and why I'm frustrated. And that helps.
Yeah. On the other side, when you would storm off and yell at me and all that stuff, I was still put in a place. I had two choices at that point. It was either match your energy or be like, okay, well, technically you have to look into what I was doing. Because something I did caused her to be that way, so on and so forth. But it created more damage in the sense that like the kids saw that and so on and so forth, and how I felt, and it was kind of like, hey, I'm trying to lead my family here. Yeah, I didn't do it the proper way because I also yelled, so on and so forth. I mean, it also put you in a position where you were like, well, you don't yell often, like you don't lose your temper often, so something is clearly not okay, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to control my emotions over it, so I'm gonna do blah blah blah. But the point is, both can get the other person to get to the point of like, I need to see my own actions. One is just pushing, and the other one is pulling and leading. And the other one leads to submission, because if you continue to push and push and push and push, eventually they're going to push back, and it's tiresome. Instead of pulling, because once you pull, you get momentum.
Yeah.
And you no longer have to pull.
Yeah. So going back to husbands wanting their wives to be more submissive, like, but what if like the wife is very submissive, but the husband's not a good leader.
That's the other dynamic. You want to read the wife's part? You don't have to take it now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It says, "Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything."
Yeah. And the key part there is submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. Is the Lord leading in a bad way? No.
No.
He's serving. And going back to because this is a big thing when it came to that comment, and that it wasn't a group chat, but the comments that I've made is that you don't have to earn your wife's submission.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that true? Is that biblically true? Because if God says to husbands, love your wife just as Christ loved the church, did Christ not earn the church's submission? Because it's not like he came down here and said, like, bow down to me, I'm God and your Lord, so go ahead and bow down and submit to me.
Mm-hmm.
No, he earned it.
Yeah.
He had to earn it. He knew he had to earn it. And I mean, he was crucified by it, and he did everything he could to the point of death. And then after his death and his resurrection, then it was like, oh my God, you are God. You are Christ the Lord, the Savior. I will submit. You have earned my submission.
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth. So yes, even though it doesn't because this is the whole thing. Like if it doesn't specifically say instructions step 1 through 5 on how to get your wife to submit, if it doesn't say that, like, hey, you're supposed to earn it, then it's not biblically true. But if you look at God's example and Christ's example, he literally had to earn it.
Yeah.
The whole Bible is him earning our submission, of us accepting Christ as our Lord and Savior.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's so much more important to follow the actions um of Jesus, because a lot of like like from what I've read in the Bible, a lot of what Jesus said was never very direct.
Yeah.
Or like
I
never
am that I am. I'm like, what?
exactly, like it was never like
Point
what
blank.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was never like that. So that's why I said at the beginning that everybody starts interpreting things the way they want to,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um and that's why it's important to like read the Bible over and over, because I remember I've read several things that it didn't make sense and now it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like things that I didn't understand, now I understand. Or like things that I understood one way and now it's like, oh shoot, it wasn't even like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, what was I saying? Where was I going with this?
About people interpreting the Bible in the way that they want to,
Uh huh.
because it's not.
Oh yeah, to follow the actions,
Mm-hmm.
like reading about the actions that Jesus Christ, like the things that he did, like how he like the way that he handled conflict,
Mm-hmm.
the way that he handled love, like the way that he handled everything, like the actions speak so much better.
Mm-hmm.
If like you don't or you can't understand, or you seem to be like, well, it doesn't say this, it doesn't say that, like, well, look at the action part.
Yeah.
What does the action say?
And if we want to get to this point, again, it doesn't specifically say in the Bible, but we follow the action, right? The church is God's wife.
Mm-hmm.
What did the church do? It wanted to divorce from her husband, which was God, to the point where literally the wife killed the husband.
Mm.
And then what did God do? He came back to life. And the church was like, oh, I'm sorry. I want you back. And what did Christ say? Like, nah, I'm going up there. Too late. um, but yes, even then, because this is a thing that a lot of people struggle with, and the couples that we help as well, is until what point should I like just continue to give and serve and lead, is until literally until death. Because if you want to follow what Christ did, that's literally what happened. He died for his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So that his wife can come back to
Yeah.
accept God. And a lot of husbands are not willing to do that.
But okay, so you're saying that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And your husband.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you crucified me many times, babe.
But would you not leave me if at some point like I cheated on you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it could be like, because yeah, sometimes it could be literal death, but it could be like the death of yourself,
Mm,
the death of your marriage, right? Because at
yeah.
that point, you're crucifying me and putting me up there. It's not like, and what I mean by that is, yes, if you cheated on me, like that would be it for us.
Yeah.
Because that is my standard. Like you've broken my trust. Like I will never be able to trust you again, so on and so forth. Now that doesn't mean that that would be the immediate thing,
Yeah.
right? And it will take, because that's like you literally like you putting me up in the cross and crucified me, and like pff, that's death, literal death of our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean I'm gonna go ahead and want to hurt you the same way.
Mm,
Like at the end of the day, no matter how heartbroken I may be, how much I may not trust you, and I stop loving you, lo que sea, you're still the mother of my kids.
yeah.
And even though it's a hard pill to swallow, and my egos and pride is gonna want to like fight it as so much as possible, and just
Mm-hmm.
want to hurt you so bad, because I'm God led, I'm like, I still have to love her, and not in the way that God loved the church at that point, but show my girls. Because now it goes from like our relationship, like, okay, well, the only thing keeping me here is that.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because again, like people start being very literal.
Yeah.
So then men are gonna think like, oh well, she's gonna do whatever she wants because she knows that I'm not going to like leave or like I'm gonna die for. But I'm glad that you said that
Mm-hmm.
because it's like understand like self love is important when it comes to like those kind of standards.
Yeah.
Like no, like your wife needs to know that you have standards and if she breaks any of them and vice versa if he breaks any of hers,
Yeah.
obviously standards that are like within how do you say it, like because I feel like we make some weird standards for husbands,
Who?
us like wives,
Mm.
you know what I mean, like you're saying like well if you cheat on me right like
Mm-hmm.
that's logic, like that's logical, that's
Mm-hmm.
realistic to think, but then like wives can be like well if you don't if you're not financially stable,
Yeah, the what we said, like the six six
yeah,
six,
like
six fix,
if
six
you're
figure,
not
six pack.
financially
Yeah.
stable then that's my standard.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna mention something earlier, like you don't. What was I gonna say? I don't know if this ties into what you're what you're going to get to, but a lot of men think that they can buy their wife's submission.
Mm.
Oh, like, if I give her the car, if I give her the house, if I give her the kids and all that stuff, like, then I'll get her submission. You don't even have your dream house right now.
Yeah.
We don't have the dream car.
But
we don't have the dream life, so on and so forth.
That's because if you think about it, like a lot of men try to do that because their wives
Mm-hmm.
tend to say like think that that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've noticed in our own relationship is that you tend to give me what I need.
Mm-hmm.
Like God. Not saying you're God, but God led, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I need, what our family needs, as far as what's good for us.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of men give their wives everything they want,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that that's not what they need, and that's why they end up unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't need that. They don't need any of that. Like, this is gonna be shocking to you.
Why?
I don't know if I should say it. For the longest time, since I can remember, I've always wanted a Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I'm like, if you're gonna buy me a car, it needs to be a Jeep.
No.
I don't even have my own car.
Yeah.
I don't really need a Jeep.
I know you don't really need it.
And I don't make a big deal about not having my own car
Mm-hmm.
because I know that I don't need it. Now, I can make a case and be like, well, I do need it because we go to school, we could go on more field trips. Like, I would, like, if something happened, I wouldn't, like, you wouldn't have to worry about how you're going to get over there, things like that, because
Yeah.
it makes it more, like, comfortable.
Or at least that's what we think about.
Yeah, like, or it makes it, like, less, like, more, where we would be more independent. We wouldn't have to be asking anybody and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that's not.
Yeah, and that's the trap that a lot of couples, specifically men who are like the financial, like the breadwinners,
Mm-hmm.
that they want to give their wife like the life of dreams, which like that's honorable and so on and so forth. But that's at the cost of their relationship.
Yeah.
Because it's like if I were to buy your Jeep, I can technically buy your Jeep right now,
Yeah.
right? But then if like right now that technically I'm in between jobs, like if that payment is gonna come out of somewhere, and it's not like you're gonna be thinking of going back to work because we also established that like we don't want that to
Yeah.
ever happen. And it's like you put us in like we put ourselves in a position where like you either have to break your dream or I have to find a way to make whatever amount it is to not only pay the rent and all that stuff, but also pay for that Jeep. A Jeep that I don't even know how much you would use it because technically we barely use our own car.
Yeah, but that's because of our family dynamic, right? Like
And what we chose because
yeah.
yes, if you worked, like also that's another thing. Um, if you worked, then of course we will be making more money and all that stuff and yada yada yada. But then that would sacrifice the time that we have to connect, the time that you get with the kids, homeschooling them, being a stay-at-home mom and all that stuff. Even the homeschool thing also, we talked about like everything that is a life altering or could be a life altering decision. We talk about like how can this affect our relationship and are we willing to take that risk?
Mm-hmm.
And when it came to the car, it's like, no, we have to be able to afford everything because we don't want to get to the point, even buying a house.
Yeah.
No matter like we rent because it is simple for us. And
Yeah.
we hear a lot of people simple in the sense that we just rent the space and everybody takes care of everything else, the landlord, meaning like repairs and all that stuff. And everybody's like bugging us about like, well, you're a family of six, you're supposed to have your own house and own it and all that stuff. And from what I've seen, like a lot of people who post on those groups, especially because they're asking like, oh, my wife is about to divorce me or whatever. For our relationship, we're not gonna buy our house until we're like very good
And
financially.
and I feel like even at that point,
You may not want to.
yeah, like we would probably do investments in something else.
Yeah, instead of owning a house, because
Yeah.
again, the way we see it, if we were to lock ourselves into a 30-year mortgage, like we have to pay that every single month, and then on top of repairs, and we don't know what's going to happen in months, in years, or whatever it may be, where like we come into a tight financial situation because of whatever, like we have cars or yada yada yada, and then all of a sudden either one of us or both of us are without a job and we have to pay for that, and it just becomes really tight. That tightness and that friction gets involved in our relationship,
Yeah.
and that's what we don't want.
Like it's a lot of couples are focusing so much on
Mm-hmm.
the things they have, the things that they own, right? Like you technically don't even own that house. Like it's not even yours. You literally have to still pay taxes for this house and
Yeah.
stuff. If you don't pay the taxes, like stuff starts happening to your house. But you like relationships now focus so much on the things that they have, the things that, or like it's my car, like I paid whatever, instead of focusing on their relationship.
Um,
And it's all about the things, all about the things, all about the house. And to us, it's like that's not important.
Mm-hmm.
Like we understand this. We do not want the same relationship that a lot of you have. We don't.
We don't.
We
We don't know.
don't. That's why we're not afraid, because I've been noticing this a lot. Like so many couples are so afraid to talk about their relationship online,
Mm-hmm.
of their true relationship,
Mm-hmm.
because the real relationship that they put online is the one that we're happy, we're smiling, we're whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really hard to get guests on the show because I can tell that they're afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the last two guests we had, that their spouse didn't want to be on the show.
Yeah, and not because they're afraid, but it's just like I can understand. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
easy to sit here and talk about these things.
No, it's a relationship. Like
Yeah,
relate. The reason why it's such a big thing, like we can talk here and talk about our jobs, like because that's something that everybody has, and it's understandable that when it
yeah,
comes to a job, you will either move on to a better job, you will go ahead and either get laid off, or you quit, or they fire you. Like those are things that happen, and those are things that are not comfortable to talk about. They don't feel good, and so on and so forth. So it's like you can talk about it as much as you want online, and you be like, oh, I get it and all that stuff. But when it comes to a relationship,
yeah.
it's uncomfortable because it's something that is deeply vulnerable.
Hmm.
Like if our relationship, like if your relationship is struggling or failing, you feel like a failure,
Yeah.
because yes, you can blame your husband as much as you want, and you can blame your wife as much as you want. At the end of the day, you chose each other, and you chose like everything.
Hmm.
You chose to not see the red flags. You chose to not see the green flags. You chose to do the bad things and or do the good things or whatever. And those choices built your relationship over time.
Yeah.
And once you come face to face, because it's a big deal. Like again, when it comes to comparing it to a job, you can just find another one, right? And everybody will adapt accordingly.
Hmm.
But when it comes to somebody else and losing that somebody else after you build life with them, it's like especially kids, you know each other's families, Christmases, events, all these things, all of those things change dramatically. And it's a drastic change. Like, it's a failure. Like, divorce is a failure. Separation is a failure. You failed at your relationship.
Yeah.
And it's a hard pill to swallow. And it's a hard thing to talk about as well, because, again, you're because when it comes to like us, like the reason why this podcast is called Doing It Raw is because we tell you everything. We share the ugly parts of our relationship and how we got through them, because that's the most important thing, and how we continue to get through them as well.
Yeah, because like we can not do this podcast because we're scared that that something's gonna happen, and then like we're gonna be eating our words, right? Like, what if like one day we get divorced and it's like, okay, that podcast was full of poop.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's really hard, because we know that it could happen, but we want to show you that we're like we're struggling as much as you guys are, right? But the difference is that a lot of you don't have the tools, don't have the knowledge, don't have the understanding, or don't have whatever it is to continue your marriage, your relationship. So we're like, hey, like, people have told us like, hey, you guys have something, like, you guys, and we didn't see it, but we see it, and we see the difference that it makes. So we're like, you know what, like, let's not wait till we've been married for 20-40 years to start teaching this, because a whole generation of people our age are struggling. Let's do it now.
Yeah, because essentially the same thing that not the same things, but divorce doesn't start once the papers are like, or once you say the word divorce. Like, that happened years ago.
Yeah.
And the opposite is, we don't get to year 40 unless we do stuff in year 5, in year 10, in year 15, so on and so forth. Because it's continual. Going to an example that I tell our son all the time is, 40-year-old virgins living in mom's basements are not there overnight.
Yeah.
It's a decision they made on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, yearly, to not get out of mom's basement.
To not get uncomfortable. Yeah.
And we chose, well, we continue to choose the opposite.
Yeah.
I continue to, like, my intention is always, how can I lead us to a better life? And I don't follow what the society is saying, because, yes, again, going back to like society telling me like, oh, you need to get a house because you have 4 kids and they need their own room, and like, I see it, I get it, and so on and so forth. But what is that gonna? But they need mom and dad more than they need all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you strip that all away, as long as they have mom and dad, technically they should be good.
Yeah. Like, if we could sleep all in one bed, they'll be happy.
Yeah.
They'd be the happiest girls in the world. Now, our son is a different story, but I think like even that, he would be like happy inside, but pretend to be mad in the outside. But yeah, I mean, we definitely need more submissive wives. And I feel like that's why this topic was so important, because there's not a lot, but we also need more of like God led men.
So,
and truly God led, not just.
Exactly. So, husbands out there complaining that their wife is not submissive, first of all, it's not godlike or Christ-like to be complaining of their wives being submissive, because God or Christ himself didn't complain about his wife not being submissive. He cried out to God for like, hey, help me save my wife.
Yeah.
Because she's lost right now. and show me the way, show me what I can do, like so on and so forth, and continue to serve. And if wives you're being stubborn to be submissive, that's also not Christ-like, because you're about to crucify your husband if he is trying to lead you properly.
Yeah.
And if you're going to crucify him, and what I mean by crucify is an example of like you're literally putting him up in the cross because you're talking bad about him to whoever, you're being, you're having an affair, you're again technically not being submissive. You're crucifying your husband, and if he continues to lead in a Christ-like way and you put him to death, you're going to find that out. And like many people back then in the church, who as soon as God came back were like, we were wrong, come back.
Yeah.
Now I do want to be submissive. It might be too late for you all.
Yeah. So hopefully, you got something out of this episode. I mean, I'm pretty sure, but a lot of people are probably triggered right now. So take a minute to take a deep breath, maybe a couple, have some water, and thanks for joining us. We will see you in Prospera, and we will see you next time.
See you.
Bye.